Everybody, it's me, Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. I make videos on public accounting, my career experience, as well as the CPA exams and budgeting, kind of just a whole lifestyle blog. And today I want to talk about the misconceptions when it comes to public accounting. And so before I start anywhere, if you're subscribed, thanks so much for returning. And if you're not, feel free to subscribe down below and hit that button. So let's just dive into the video now. So the reason that I'm making this video is that I came into public accounting kind of anxious and nervous about the experience, and I had a lot of misconceptions that proved not to be true. And so this video is for any of you guys who are nervous going into public accounting, or if you're curious if it'll be a good match. And before I go anywhere, I of course have to mention that I'm not the spokesperson of my company. I don't disclose who I work for. There are many Big 4 in the city that I work in. I don't disclose any names, any clients, and that's why this is okay to do. And you have to really be careful reading your HR policy before you talk about these things, and I've read it time and time again, and it's okay to speak about it in such a vague way. And I think that this would benefit people who are a little bit anxious going into their future potential career path. Misconception number 1 was that public accounting is for extroverts and private is for introverts. And this is not true. Public accounting has such a wide variety of people. I am so introverted, and you probably don't believe it seeing my channel, but I was in the student government in college for over a year, and I never said a single word. Like, I'm not even joking. I would say things to the person next to me, but during every single hearing, I never gave my opinion of if we should allow this funding to go to these certain clubs, because that's what we did in the student government, I guess, basically. For certain school projects, we talk about it, and I seriously never spoke. It's so bad because I think a lot before I say things to be confident in what I say, versus some people can just popcorn what they say and feel confident about it, but I ruminate a lot. And I was worried that would be detrimental towards my experience and that I would feel very quiet, but that's not the case. You really find a whole variety of voices. You find people who are a lot more quiet and put in their headphones, and just that's one misconception that should not sway your opinion of if it's a good match. And coming from someone who's very introverted and shy, yes, I really do believe that if you're introverted, you can find happiness. Just don't push yourself out of your comfort zone, but don't try to be someone that you're not as well. So misconception number 2 is that busy season is going to suck the soul out of you and really ruin your whole season, honestly, and that's not true. As a first year, you have a small set of clients, and that snowballs as you stay with the firm. They give you more clients to be working on, to be doing their tax provisions, to be doing their tax compliance. And the thing is, your first year, you can start out not that busy, and that's because everything's on such a tight deadline. So say January 18th, you finally get the provision from the client, and then you have only a month to cram and to get everything tidied up before March 1st filing or something like that. Sometimes your seniors don't have time to talk to you, and that's totally fine because they will give you the work that you can get, but there's only so much that you can do as a first year, and sometimes that can leave you kind of twiddling your thumbs or scrambling for something else to do. I have people that know in audit who are working until midnight or have been every night. I have people who I know in tax who have less to do. It also depends if you're in audit and or tax. And I personally, I've gone to HR and I've spoken to them. I was just asking, is this normal that I don't have as much work? Should I be worried because they track how much you're working every day? And she told me no. As a first year, it's very different until you get more. So don't be surprised if your first year you're a little bit less busy. It's because you don't have that much that you can provide, honestly, and that is okay. So my third misconception is that it is smart casual, but still jeans are a rarity. That's not true. In public accounting, if you're in a smart casual firm, you're surrounded by millennials, and they will change the culture of the clothing. I swear, I've seen Uggs in my office sometimes. On Sundays, people will come in with sweatshirts on. If you're working a Sunday, then damn right you should wear a sweatshirt into the office. But yeah, it's really different. I thought that I would be feeling uncomfortable to be wearing jeans even twice a week. I would think to myself, oh, okay, I'll only wear jeans on Fridays because the jeans are allowed, so that's awesome. But now I wear jeans the majority of the time because it's comfier, and that is absolutely the norm in my office. It's different for every office, and just really get a feel for the culture, but don't make any assumptions, I guess, and also don't assume that things will be very lenient either. But my rule of thumb is never show up to your first day in jeans, because that definitely kind of isn't the right thing to do, I think. Always err on the side of more cautious with what you wear. So my fourth misconception is revolving the CPA exam, and I thought the CPA exam was going to be a much more cutthroat kind of a process, I guess. I thought it would be kind of everybody like, bing, oh, I finally passed, bing, like all over the place or obsessing over it. And you find that a lot of people, that's not their passion, and that's totally fine. But you kind of walk into the firm, and I naturally assumed, okay, everybody here is going to be like, hell yeah, I'm going to stay until I'm partner. But the thing is, everybody has different ambitions. And so, like, for example, one person might be just working at the firm to pay off their student debt, and once they're done, they're going to go into marketing and completely leave. They wouldn't want their CPA exam. And you'll find some people, it's just not worth their anxiety. And so it really depends on who you are as a person. But I really walked in thinking it'd be much more of the talk of the town, kind of the exam and how it's going, and if they're passing, if they're not. But really, people kind of care if they're into it. I would say that it's more a majority of people who are taking it at their own pace, or maybe pushing it back or questioning if it's the choice for them. Side note, I am so glad that I took the CPA exam over the summer, because when you finally start working in public accounting, your little pizzazz for exam taking about accounting really dies, because I kind of came into it naive and like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get my CPA exam. But once you start working, it definitely changes your ambition with it, I guess. And I'm really glad that I got it out of the way before I got busy and a little bit less energetic. Misconception number 5 is that I would have a really easy time explaining what I was doing. And this is still something that I do struggle with a little bit, just because I'm new. And it's not to say that I'm not learning, but you would think that I would be saying, oh, I'm learning exactly how to make a balance sheet, or I am helping make the 10K. But it's very different. I would say it's a series of small wins. A lot of it is in Excel. And seriously, I learned so much during my first provision, I guess, on Excel. Control bracket in Excel is a lifesaver. It's when you go into a value and then it takes you to where that value is pulling from in Excel. So that was a tiny win for me, and I learned that. But if my mom ever asked me what I was learning or something, I feel like I wouldn't really exactly say that. It's hard to put into words, especially for someone who's not as experienced in Excel. It's hard to explain how much you're learning without it seeming like not much, I guess, because you are rolling up a lot of provision work in Excel sheets, and you just learned so much about tracing information, VLOOKUPs, so important, sum if functions. So a lot of the bulk of what you learn is going to be in Excel, I would like to assume. So my last misconception number 6, is that teams all sit together if they're all on one client. And that's not true, because everybody has a handful of clients that they're on, so it's not possible. And I guess you find that there's a section of your floor that's probably all tax, but everybody's scattered around in a sense, and it really depends on what client is the focus at the moment. If I turn to my left, someone is on a completely different client, different team actually. And so that's just something that surprised me, that it wasn't more of a group effort in a sense all at once. And the thing with that is that you might do work on 3 different clients in one day. So you might be doing administrative kind of work for one client in the morning, and then in the afternoon you're kind of working on their provision, and then you're prepping for compliance work later on. And so that's why it's impossible to always be just stuck with the team that is working on a certain client, if that makes sense. Another thing is I guess the lunch culture, worth noting, is I thought that everybody on one client would just clump together for lunch, but there is a lot of desk eating, which is kind of sad, but that's the reality. And I've kind of come to terms with it, just because sometimes it's nice to unwind in some senses, but I think it's all about balance. But yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more of like a magnetic pull if you're all working on a client together. But it's not true, because you're working on so many different things at once that you kind of just find a desk that you like, or a desk with a good view, or whatever. So yeah, I hope that gave you guys a little bit more input into the experience in public accounting. And I'm obviously not the spokesperson, but if you're anxious, I would say don't make any assumptions. Just come in positive and realistic at the same time. I'm not gonna lie, I came in very negative, in the sense I was very afraid of busy season, and I have really just realized, whoa, as a first year, it's very dependent on many things. The whole answer to your experience in accounting is it depends. I swear to God. I feel like that's a big audit term too. It depends, because you can never really answer anything for sure. So thank you guys so much for watching that. I hope I gave you guys a little bit of advice. Please comment down below any other questions you might have. Do you want to know more about what I do in a day as a public tax accountant? I'd love to talk about what the hell a provision is or what is compliance, because tax is literally compliance or provision work for the most part. That's my experience in public accounting. And of course, this whole video is my personal experience. It may not be yours. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit subscribe. I'm nearly at 1,500 subscribers. What the hell? But have a great day, and I have to go walk to work now and get that bread. All right, bye guys.